A lot of African Americans do not have decent places to live.
Systemic racism in the United States in homeownership is a massive, massive issue.
Access to mortgage loans, access to credit, even being given fair appraisals.
Overlay that redlining map with disparities in health, disparities in education, disparities in neighborhood safety.
In the last 20 years, Chicago has lost around 400,000 African Americans, lost in the sense that they've moved.
One of our most popular African American neighborhoods is 90% apartments and only 10% home ownership opportunities.
It is time to change the paradigm. We have to make that shift so that we are all on equal footing.
You have to be able to influence laws in order to really have an impact and to make a change.
We're there from an advocacy standpoint, looking at what are the issues that are really impacting Black families and how we can work with our local, state, and federal elected officials so that their policies are directed towards inclusion.
We were putting a barrier in place for families who, for much of their life, they had been told, sorry, you're not eligible. We were just another cog in the wheel, and we needed to change that.
Having access to credit is a huge challenge and a barrier for a lot of folks in our community. We have financial counseling, it's education, it's working on alternate trade lines because that's actually something that we have available through our loan product. Those little changes are going to make a big impact when you come to apply.
The African American community does not have generational wealth the same way a lot of other communities do. There was a lot of unfair lending practices for my parents' generation and my grandparents' generation that stopped them from being able to access homes. We're looking to make sure that African American wealth is sustained here. We have critical home repair to help families stay in their home.
Many Black families that currently own property in Optimus Park are Habitat homeowners who have not been displaced and who have held on to their asset almost 40 years.
In the city of Philadelphia, gentrification is happening. Our work provides access for families to come back to communities and to provide an opportunity for affordable home ownership in those spaces.
We were excited to have Habitat come in to this church. I'm trying to reach out, especially to my congregation, those that I know that are renters, to get them involved so they can find out what do we need to do to own homes.
At Habitat Chicago, we're shaping our programs around Black communities and the neighborhood. We're making sure the residents have an input in the design of the home. They have an input in the programs that we are providing to them.
No one's going to be able to tell you what their block needs better than the people who live on their block.
You have to be an active listener. You cannot be the only speaker in the room.
We have to keep working at building trust in the community because the hurt is so deep.
I pull this inspiration from James Baldwin, is that when you erect a wall, you segregate yourself as well. You know less about who you are because you didn't want to know about who I am.
There's no excuse for us to not be doing something about this. I don't care if you're a Democrat or a Republican, it should not be a political issue.
It is our mission. Everyone deserves a decent place to live.
Take up the challenge, do what you can, identify where the challenges are in your communities, and really focus in on how you can make a change. If not Habitat, then who?